Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to talk about Kenya more. Now, I know there's a glare. I had to take my contacts out because, girl, they were bothering me. So, and I haven't put another pair in, so that's why I'm still wearing these glasses. So I know there's a glare, but I mean, there's really nothing I can do about it. Um, all right, so let's go ahead and get into this mess. So, Kenya more haircare. Kenya more haircare. Dun, 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 dun. Girl, I think I don't know, but I would be a fool and a liar and someone who just was deciding not to live in reality if I did not really accept what I have been seeing. And it looks like to me this might be Kenya's last season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, it's kind of giving me, the Nene Leakes treatment, kind of pushing her out of episodes, not really showing, her storyline this season was her salon, her spa that she opened, not really showing her storyline. Um, yeah, that's what it's giving. And I don't think that this interview that she did with Carlos King really helped the situation. Um, I haven't heard her necessarily go after Andy or anybody. It sounded more like her disappointment and frustrations with production. Um, let's just get into the mess. Kenya Moore blast RHOA. This is according to B. Scott, production company, after main storyline goes missing from season 15. Kenya Moore is not thrilled with Truly Original, the production company responsible for season 15 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Following Sunday night's episode, Kenya took to Twitter to call the company out for leaving one of her main storylines in the editing bay. If you remember, Kenya had an all cast event for the grand opening of her new hair spa. Nearly every peach was in attendance, and former cast members Cynthia Bailey, Claudia Jordan, and Latoya Ali popped up to celebrate. According to Kenya, building her hair spa was her main storyline this season, although fans only got to see a glimpse of the process in one of the first few episodes. With the season finale airing next week and no mention of Kenya's opening event in sight, Kenya rang the alarm on social media, claiming it was edited out. So this is a tweet that Kenya sent out. I think it was edited. No, I'm sorry. Somebody put, "I'm ready to see the Kenya Moore hair spa next week," and then she responded and said, "I think it was edited out." Hashtag RHOA, despite having the entire cast there except one, and Miss Cynthia Bailey and Claudia Jordan, and it being my main storyline. Not only did Kenya call out production via social media, but in a two-part sit-down interview with Carlos King, Kenya also called into question some of the editing choices this season, particularly when it comes to choices surrounding Marlo Hampton's storyline. I'm going to play the audio um, from the interview, a clip of the interview that where Kenya was talking about Marlo. Kenya's not the only one taking issue with production this year. Both fans and diehard Bravo fan pages alike have taken to Twitter to voice their complaints. I'm not going to read all the tweets. I'll put the link to B. Scott's article in the description box, so you can, if you want to, girl, you can read the tweets. Let me go ahead and play this audio of Miss Kenya Moore. Girl. Y'all think it's Kenya last season? I could see it being Kenya and Candy, squad as is kept. Because the truth of the matter is, even with Candy, even with Candy not being in a lot of group scenes, they still could have traveled with Candy to show what Candy was doing outside of the show, outside of the group. They didn't even do that, girl. One listen. What they say, one monkey don't stop no show. One monkey don't stop no show. Girl, people lose jobs, quit jobs. Girl, leave jobs every day in the business keeps on the kicking. So I don't expect, even if Kenya was to get fired or to leave, I don't expect Real Housewives of Atlanta to just stop, you know, stop the show. I mean, but girl, the girls who watched New York never thought that New York was okay. But they didn't really cancel the show; they just recast the show. I can see them doing that with Atlanta, but I think before they touch Atlanta, if that's the case, I think they need to touch some of these other franchises. OC, girl, no tea, no shade, girl, Salt Lake City, girl, they're hanging on by a hope and a prayer. Um, Anyways, so yeah, I don't think that even if Candy or Kenya leaves, um, I don't know. Let me just play the clip. Here we go, y'all.
And you're over here 6 weeks in, and you're picking fights with Candy that makes no sense. Then she started, after that ended, and the managers got together and said, okay, let's figure out a storyline, and then you go find Scotch Bright. You find Scotch Bright to sit up here and play your boyfriend. Okay, so that's your new storyline. You're so soft and gentle now. All of a sudden, you're so pink inside. It ain't making sense. The math ain't mathing. And everybody can see it. In fact, so many comments are like, who is she blowing on production? What is happening? Kenya. No, it's the truth. If you didn't want me here to tell you the truth, no, I want you here, honey. I'm just saying, so please don't, listen. Is Marlo being favored or protected? Of course, yes, absolutely. And that is what has taken the wind out of me this season, in part. Because I'm like, no matter what I do, I was never protected. And that makes me angry as a housewife. I was never protected. I was always the one that everybody came for. Production was like, we don't GAF. And I got all the smoke. And I got no protection. And you are sitting here making somebody who season 1...
Girl, she about to cry. Girl, you could tell she was getting pissed off. I think for those who have actually watched the show, we always knew that Kenya was gonna have to, girl. It's like it was a one woman army for real. We know that Portia was always protected. Now they are. Listen, this is the thing, right? I do think that sometimes we are too hard on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I really do believe that. I believe a lot of the stuff that people say about Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't think they would have those same opinions about other shows. I don't know what it is about us being so tough on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I've come to I don't like it. That doesn't mean that they are above reproach. That doesn't mean that they can't receive constructive criticism. That doesn't mean that they don't have room for improvement, right? But the truth is, a lot of people have been having a hard time keeping up with the antics of Marlo Hampton this season. I'm quick to come down here, and even though girl Marlo is the enemy of my girl, I still try and be fair, I've said more than a few times, girl. Even when it had to do, I don't want to even go down that road because I know it's a sensitive subject. But even with Marlo and her nephew, girl, we had to just call it for what it was. Right? Her going after Candy. I don't mind. I don't care about nobody going after Candy, but girl, at least that it makes sense. So a lot of the stuff it wasn't making sense, and then it did. It looked as though they flipped in the middle of the season. Now all of a sudden, Marlo got a boyfriend she's dating, and Marlo got her. Now there's more attention on her. Foster care program. Like, girl, hold up. They really did. They did a 180 on Marlo Hampton. They have never given Kenya. They have never given. What's the word I'm looking for? They have never given Kenya that amount of grace. They were going to use whatever footage they could of Kenya to make sure they could paint her in a certain way, and Kenya was going to have to just deal with the backlash. So even if they had footage of Kenya getting along with the girls, kikiing and laughing and all that, they're not gonna use that. They're gonna use whatever footage they can use that will paint her into a villain, just like they did with Portia and the Black Lives Matter storyline. Remember, it was so near and dear to Portia's heart. Girl, Do Portia still do Black Lives Matter? Oh, okay. Does she still talk to that lady, Tamika Mount? Okay. I don't know. I don't keep it. Y'all let me know if Portia's still involved with Black Lives Matter. I don't know. Or she out there still, we know we don't have to start going down. I was about to start running down examples, because y'all know I will. Okay, but we ain't even got to do that. The people who have watched the show, we know that it's not fair. I feel bad for Kenya. You could tell that she was visibly upset. Um, we'll talk more about it when we get into the Carlos King interview. But let me finish playing the audio.
About everything, including to everybody's face about using the F word. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. The F bomb. You know. Yeah. The F bomb. The gay slur. The gay slur. Swore up and down she never said it until somebody had to produce the footage where she said it. To me, it's just like, no. If you're gonna come and really show your life, show your life. We know the facts beyond the facts at this point. We don't have to even say it. The money cannot be verified. The dates cannot be verified. The timelines cannot be verified. But that's not what we're talking about. We're over here talking about candy in a restaurant. Then after that failed, then you're over here chasing me around restaurants that got conveniently cut out. Group scenes, all kind of scenes of mine conveniently got cut out. Storylines of mine got cut out. But somehow an angel with foster care scene turns up, and that makes the cut. Hey, Raindrop, tune in.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: Kenya been on the show long enough, so if they got rid of Kenya, if Kenya decided to walk away, it is what it is. We've seen Kenya's whole life. I want Kenya to be on the show because that's my girl. However, if they are risking to lose Kenya Moore over for Marlo Hampton, girl, and that is no shade. No, that is shade. No, that's all fucking shade. If they are willing to lose, girl, Captain Twirl, girl, over for Marlo Hampton, it's a mess. Listen, I've talked about Marlo. I said last year that I think it was more so embarrassment for me, secondhand embarrassment, that I didn't want Marlo to lose her peach because Marlo had just got the peach, and that's so embarrassing to just like lose it, get demoted, or get fired after you finally get it after 10 years. And even with all this being said, I don't think Marlo should necessarily lose her peach. Um, the problem is production. I know that a lot of people want the show to be recast and all that, but let me just say something. If I worked at Bravo, and I don't know how the rating stuff works out because I know they say they don't really post. Like, I follow Bravo ratings, and I don't think they post like Peacock ratings and all that stuff. But based off of the one rating they do list, girl, Real Housewives of New York is, now I watch it, but the ratings are like 400,000. Girl, let's just use that as the example. Why in the hell, after y'all caused so much chaos and confusion about wanting to recast shows, we finally recast the show and y'all don't even watch? Why would I then turn around and recast another show? For y'all not to watch that one either? Y'all get what I'm trying to say? So I would not recast Real Housewives of Atlanta. Maybe take a peach or two away, add a peach or two, add a friend or two. Girl, who will be getting the pink slip will be truly original. I think that's the biggest problem. It would not be the girls. Maybe a girl or two. Sheree Quadratus could be a friend of the show. But other than that, I wouldn't get rid of those girls because we want new girls, and they bring. Because this is the thing, right? I've said this, and I'm gonna say it again. We holler and scream, we want new girls. They bring new girls. Y'all want the girls gone. I think Real Housewives. I can't say that because I don't watch the other franchises. But I'm gonna say this much: Real Housewives of Atlanta has had a lot of girls on the show, and the only girl I can think of that we came together as a group and agreed on that said we liked was It's Tanya Time. Just think about it. Every girl they bring on the show, y'all don't like. They brought Manetta on. They brought this season. They got Sonya again. Y'all don't like Sonya. You don't like Drew. You don't like Courtney. Girl, y'all say y'all want new girls. They brought new girls. But y'all want them to recast the entire show just so y'all won't watch, like y'all not watching Real Housewives of New York? Girl, no, absolutely not. I don't know. But again, if it's the end of the road for Kenya, it's the end of the road. Girl, she had a good run. She's been on the show a long time. We've seen Kenya life. It will suck for Kenya to go out and girl them choose Marlo over Kenya. I will say that. Anyways, girl, we'll talk more about it in the Carlos King interview. I think the interview comes out tomorrow. I'll probably try to have the recap up on Wednesday, and then girl, I don't know. I know I haven't been live. I want to go live, but girl, I just haven't been having the energy to go live. Girl, we'll talk. I'll tell y'all what's going on. Probably after it's all said and done. I'll probably let y'all know what's been going on over here. There's a lot. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.